What's up, Sports Geeks? It's your host, Josh Keeney here, back with an episode. This is our first in-person episode here that will also be posted to YouTube. I'm joined by Alec. Alec, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Today we're recapping the NBA season so far. I know it's been a little bit since an episode, but we're going to be hopping back into it, getting busy here, and figured why not start off with some NBA here. So what an NBA season so far. We're a little over halfway. We have the Celtics leading the West right now by a decent margin as well, by 4.5 games. What do you think about the Eastern Conference so far?
Yeah, so Celtics are balling out. Really, the teams that we thought were going to be good are good.
Yeah.
The Heat are coming around. They started off really slow, but they're the last probably 15 to 20 games have been playing really well. Just looking at this, top four seeds: Celtics, Sixers, Bucks, Nets. I mean, we kind of knew they were going to be at the top.
Yep.
Because they're the most talented teams.
Yeah, I will say with Steve Nash leaving the Nets, Jacques Vaughn has done phenomenal.
Jacques Vaughn, it's a very weird. It's always weird. It's kind of like in football or basketball. It's like, like football. Andy Reid gets to coach Patrick Mahomes, but he's consistent every year. Just because you coach stars, I think, doesn't mean you can't win Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
Because Jacques Vaughn should be in the running for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Because of how bad Steve Nash did, I think.
Yeah. Well, you look at the change in how good they were from Steve Nash to Jacques Vaughn should immediately throw him up there.
Absolutely.
Now, KD going out, I think he's got maybe 2 or 3 weeks left. That's unfortunate, and it might hurt his case because his record's not going to look as good. But they're still winning with just Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie and Claxton has been balling.
Claxton and Ben Simmons has played really well. It's been very clear with Ben Simmons moving to, I guess, he moved there last year, actually playing for Brooklyn this year, that their entire team's number one thing on their checklist is to give that kid confidence.
Yeah, and I really think that, at the end of the day, that trade was kind of a win for them.
Absolutely. I think so. I think Harden was too ball hungry, which isn't a bad thing. You need guys that are ball hungry.
Well, we see him in Philly. It works in Philly.
It's exactly because you don't have another guard that is ball hungry, like somebody that's wants the rebound and bring the ball up the court. You look at this Brooklyn team. You have Kyrie and you have KD, both guys that would like to bring the ball up the court. When you have two of them, you can see that they can have the dynamic of, hey, you do it sometimes, I'll do it sometimes. You can have your minutes kind of split until crunch time. So in the second quarter, Kyrie's commonly in when KD's not, and it can work like that. But when you have three guys, you always have two in the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so you're never the guy, always. So I think it was a win-win. And I also think Ben Simmons, I've been saying this, Ben Simmons is the Draymond Green role. And you need somebody to play the Draymond Green.
And and maybe he's not as ferocious of a personality as a Draymond Green, but he's a better defender. He's longer. He can truly defend better than Draymond Green.
Yeah.
And he can facilitate the ball at just such an elite level. They don't need him to score. It's basically like, they brought Harden in to try to be that facilitator, but you could argue that James Harden took too many shots for this offense.
I will say, I'm staying on that matter of James Harden taking too many shots. At Philly, he has been elite.
Oh, he's been so
elite at not taking many shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Very efficient.
Very, very efficient. I mean, this Philly team's dangerous when they're fully healthy. You add Tyrese Maxey, you get Tobias Harris in there. That team's really good.
They have 4 max players.
Yeah.
Max quality players.
Yeah. Tyrese Maxey, this. Tyrese Maxey is like one of my favorite non-all-star players. He is so fun to watch.
Well, he's playing himself, he's progressing to potentially be an all-star one day.
Yeah.
So.
I would say in 2 years he's going to be an all-star.
I mean, think so too.
I think as soon as he gets out, I'm not saying he needs to get out of Philly. He might want to stay and win some championships, or compete for some championships, I should say. But if he were to stay in Philly, I think that might delay that process a little longer, just because there's not as many shots.
Yeah, I think with his progression, if Maxey left and say he was on, a lower team, I don't know, like the Magic or the Hornets, whatever, he would be comparable to probably like a Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Like averaging 25 to 27 on his own team. But
and I think it's kind of like the whole dynamic of like which career path you want to go down. Do you want the All-Stars? Do you want the scoring title? Or do you want to compete for championships year in, year out? Because if you do, I would recommend staying with Embiid.
I think so too.
Yeah. Embiid's been elite.
Yeah, and also Harden's up there in age. He could take over for Harden eventually if Harden gets too old.
Absolutely.
Too, so.
Harden could kind of convert to that Chris Paul.
Just a main facilitator role.
Right.
Like he can turn it on when he wants to. Playoff time,
right.
He can get you 30 and 16 assists, but he doesn't have to turn that on every game.
Right, and he's not going to do that every game in the playoffs.
No.
In the playoffs, he's going to be the guy that wants to have 8 points going into the fourth. If
Yep.
you need him to put 10 in the fourth, he'll do that, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
But I think that Philly team's dangerous. I think the East is just – I think the entire NBA, I should say, is just very even.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time where I really don't know what's going to happen.
No, looking at this, I think obviously Celtics, Sixers, Bucks, Nets, all of them could win the East and then win a championship. I think the Cavs could win the East. I think they would struggle to win a championship because they don't have enough scoring. But I think they could win the East. The Heat, I really don't think so. I think the Heat are too old. I think this is every year with the Heat as well. Eric Spoelstra is a very good coach that coaches the regular season phenomenal and gets his team to overachieve in the regular season. And then they get to the postseason where everybody cares like they did in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like they play postseason defense all year.
Yeah.
So then you get to the postseason where other teams are playing postseason defense and they really struggle because you're playing elite defenses again. So I think they always overachieve and then they lose early in the playoffs. Obviously, they're the one, NBA finals run in the bubble year where Jimmy Butler put his heart and soul just to lose to LeBron.
Yeah.
I think that they're also looking at that Heat team. Tyler Hero and Bam will continue to progress and get better. Every other player on that roster is getting worse.
I think so too. And Max Strus and Gabe Vincent just aren't good enough guards to compete in an Eastern Conference Finals. Like we saw last year, they just could not compete with the Celtics guards last year.
No, when you look at like the guys you're going to be playing against here, you go play like the Cavs, you're playing Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. You look at the Nets, doesn't get much better. You have Seth Curry, you have Kyrie Irving. The Bucks with Drew Holiday. You have the Sixers. We were just talking Maxey and Harden.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Celtics have plenty of guard depth with
Smart and Brown.
If you want to include Brown and Smart, Brogdon. I mean, when you look at these. I mean, even if you go below the Heat, if you look at the Knicks, you have Brunson and Barrett. Like, I would rather have Brunson and Barrett.
And then you go to one more down. The Hawks are in the 8th seed. They have Trae Young and DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
I mean, the guard depth in the East is impeccable. I mean, every team, I would argue in the top 11 have really good guards.
Yeah.
The Bulls have great guards.
You go to 10 at the Bulls.
I know I don't know how. It's so funny. I've talked about this before with some of my buddies, but it's like, how are the Bulls not good? I really don't understand because they have a good roster and they have scorers and they can play defense. They just don't win games.
This might offend some people. I think it's Lonzo Ball not being there. When Lonzo Ball was there, they were really good last year. Like
they were.
Like when you think
really
before
good.
he got injured, they were a top 5 seed in the East.
They were very, very good. They overachieved last year, like heavily.
Yeah.
When he was playing.
Yes. Now, who knows if that's sustainable? We haven't seen Lonzo Ball with the Bulls in a playoff setting, but I don't know. I think that's my. Looking at it when they have him, they're really good. He gets injured, they struggle. That's kind of just my basic. I could be completely wrong there, but I will say the Knicks. I vouched for them very hard in the offseason, saying I think this team's a playoff team, or at least a play-in team.
Play-in team, yeah. I think with this new setup, I think it's very different now. Some teams play for the play-in, and then some teams play for the playoff, like to get to get the top 6 seed.
Top 5 or 6 seed.
I think so too, and I think some teams, like the Bulls or the Pacers or the Hawks, they're kind of vying for that just to get a chance.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Knicks. So I vouched for them really hard. I said Jalen Brunson was a very good get for them. Randall is playing at an elite level. He's rebounding phenomenally.
If you want to make some money, just take over rebounds every night. It's Julius Randle.
Yeah. Well, if you did yesterday, you would have hit. He had 19 yesterday. So, but he's been great. Brunson's been great. Barrett's been solid when he's healthy. And we still haven't even seen those guys play together for a ton of games yet.
Yep.
Because Barrett was out for 3 or 4 weeks. Throughout overall. So I think that team's going to be good. I don't think they even come close to competing for the East, but they could win a playoff series.
I think so too.
If you put them at like the 6th seed, or the 7th seed, and you could get them against, a Cavs or maybe a Bucks team that's maybe not completely healthy. If you have any injuries across, top 4 or 5 seeds, I think this Knicks team could upset one team. I don't think they upset 2 at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
but they look good. I'll tell you what, Tom Thibodeau needs to be fired like now.
Yeah.
If you look at the stat, I don't have it off the top of my head, but their first half winning, like how many times they're winning at halftime, is absurd. Like best team in the league, and they're what? I mean, 7th in the East.
I mean, they're 2 games over 500.
Yeah, and you are elite in the first half. That is all coaching. How many times have you know how many times I've looked at a box score and seen that Julius Randle's played 43, 44 minutes in a regular season game? I mean, why? That's coaching. You have guys like Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin, and Cam Reddish on the bench. I'm not saying they're good, but they can give you 10 to 12 a game. Like 10 to 12 minutes a game. Like
absolutely. I mean, we got to think about it. Cam Reddish is not bad.
There's teams like trying to trade for Cam Reddish, which should tell you as a coach, I should give him 10 to 12 minutes a game. Yeah. I'm not saying he's great. He shouldn't be starting for anybody.
Yeah, I'm not. You're not saying that he should take 12 shots a game.
No. He should take 3 to 4 open threes a game, if that, and should rebound and play decent defense. But he can do that for 10 to 12 minutes. And Thibodeau should be fired like now. And I think that this is going to be the last year, especially if they underachieve in the playoffs. If they go to playoffs and get swept, I think Thibodeau's out immediately.
I think so too. But I don't think they make the playoffs. Even if they make the play-in, I don't think they get in.
The Knicks?
Yeah, the Knicks.
It's gonna be really difficult. I think the thing that's a little bit nice with the Knicks is that if a team shoots poorly in the first half, the Knicks could be up by 20.
That's true, but as we've seen, they could also blow that lead.
Yeah.
So
right. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know how Thibodeau is going to coach in this year's playoffs. Obviously, we saw the elite. Playoff series between them and the Hawks. It was elite, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
That's where Trae Young played the villain the entire time. And then I saw this the other day. He came out and said he doesn't like playing the villain. I was like, well, you sure looked like you did when you were at
He seemed like you really liked it. He seemed like you really liked it. It fits him well too.
No, it does fit him well. With the ostrich hair and everything. But looking at the bottom of these Eastern Conference standings, I don't think this battle for the play-in is going to be really a battle at all. Outside the top 10 teams right now, you have the Raptors, who could make it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they might be the only one.
The Wizards, Magic, Hornets, Pistons. I don't think any of those teams do. The Magic went on a good run there for a little bit, but even right now, they're 3 games back from the Raptors, and they've had a really good run. So you're looking at another – and the Raptors have been horrendous this year. The Raptors to play horrendous, and the Magic having their really good run of 9 out of 10 games winning, and you're still 3 games back. I don't see.
Yeah, and I think the difference is that I don't know. The Raptors are a veteran team. They have Siakam. He's back. Fred VanVleet. They're thinking about trading I can never say.
OG Anunoby.
Yeah, I can never say his name right. But I usually call him OG.
Yeah.
But so they have a lot of vets, and the Magic, Paolo is insane.
He
for a rookie, he's very good.
He is showing why they took him at 1 and not Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith, he's not bad. He's definitely more of a project.
Paolo is a lot better right now.
He's a lot better right now, and he also shows the signs. I'm gonna say it. He shows the signs of a LeBron-like build.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's gonna be LeBron. Don't go and quote me that Josh said that Paolo is the next LeBron. But he shows signs of a LeBron-like build. He can shoot the 3 somewhat, not yet, right? But and that's how LeBron was when he came.
At least the form is there.
The form is there, and he can shoot the pull-up. He can shoot the pull-up. He can shoot the mid-range.
All 3 levels.
Yeah. Yep, he is. He's a 3-level scorer, and defensively, he's not been terrible. You wouldn't expect him to be great, especially when you're that good of an offensive weapon. If you're also elite on defense right away.
I mean, we've only seen that a couple times.
No.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, he is the number 1 pick, so he should be elite. But he definitely will be Rookie of the Year unless he gets hurt.
Yeah.
So
speaking of number 1 pick, who do you think is going to take? Whoever has the number 1 pick, who do you think they're going to take this upcoming draft?
So I'm a big Scoot. I'm a big Scoot Henderson fan. I think he would have gone number 1 in the last 4 drafts.
Yes.
All the way until the Luka draft. But I really like Scoot Henderson, but I think Victor's got it. He's got to go 1.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's going to be awesome for teams that are at the lower, I guess maybe teams that are at the lower. Who knows with the lottery? But if you get the number 2 overall pick, that's still an elite player.
If you get the second overall pick this year, is probably arguably like 1.5 to 2 times more valuable than the first pick last year.
Yes,
because Paolo was good, but he was nowhere near the consensus 1.
No, he wasn't even the consensus 1.
Yeah, he was plus like 800 to go 1.
Yeah,
or something like that crazy. Mm-hmm. Like even Woj got it wrong.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it was actually pretty funny. It was the night of the draft, and I was talking with some buddies at I helped coach our high school soccer team this summer. So I was at one of those practices, and I was talking to one of my buddies, and we said, who do you think's going 1? And I looked at the odds, and then 10 minutes later, Woj tweets out and says there's legit interest from the Magic to take Paulo Banchero. The odds went from like plus 800 to like plus 150. Mm-hmm. It is crazy the impact Woj had.
It's unbelievable.
It was a true Woj bomb.
But it's just because people the books don't want to get screwed. Mm-hmm. For people bet if Woj says something, it 99.9% will happen.
There's a reason Woj still has the resume he does. Yeah. But looking at the East, I don't think there's much else.
No, I don't think so. I think just to kind of to cap it off at the top. Who would you say your favorite is right now to win? Like if you had to pick a team right now that you think is going to come out, just real quick.
It's hard to not go with the Celtics, but I do think we saw earlier in the season they struggle without Ime Udoka.
Yeah, they do.
You saw it. They had their initial insane run, correct? Mm-hmm. Where they they started whatever spectacular record they had to start the season. They had that, and then they struggled for a little bit. Yep. They lost back-to-back to the Magic. They lose some more games. They lost. I think they went like 4-6 in a 10-game stretch, which is just terrible for an elite team like that. And you truly saw them struggle to not have a coach to like rally them.
Yeah.
Ime Udoka did a lot for that team. There's a reason why he won Coach of the Year right last year.
I believe he did.
If he didn't, he got robbed. But there's a reason why he should have won it last year. And when you take that out of an organization, especially so suddenly, I think you're going to struggle a little bit, especially come playoff time. I'm not saying struggle as in like lose first round. Monty Williams won it. Oh, yeah, that's right, because they had this spectacular.
Well, because they almost won like 70 games.
Yeah.
So.
So I think they're going to struggle a little bit. As of right now, assuming everybody is healthy, I'm going to take the Nets.
You're taking the Nets.
I am not going to fade Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the playoffs. These guys, very commonly we see those two guys in the regular season kind of half-ass it.
Yep.
These guys are playing hard.
They're playing really hard.
If Jacques Vaughn is getting
elite.
them to play hard now, the level he's going to demand and get out of them in the playoffs, I'm going to take the most talented scorer in the NBA, and I'm going to take Kevin Durant.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. If Chris Middleton comes back and Joe Ingles keeps playing well, Drew Holiday doesn't go 8 for 30 like he has in playoff games in the past, and Giannis is still dominant, I got to take the Bucks.
Yeah.
Just because they're so elite on defense, and if they have shooters around Giannis, it's GG's, I think.
I would tell you this. The Eastern Conference semifinals are going to be elite to watch. Last year with our semifinals, we had Golden State play Dallas and sweep them. Right? No.
They lost in 5.
Was that in the semifinals?
That was the Western Conference Finals.
That was Western Conference Finals. That's right. So the Western Conference semifinals, we had the Dallas Phoenix, which was a good series.
Oh, great!
Golden State swept. Mm-hmm. We had Philly play Miami. Mm-hmm. And Miami won that in 6, I think.
I think it was 6, and then Celtics beat the
Celtics Bucks, which was great.
Oh, that's maybe the best series I've seen in a while.
We had 2 good series, 2 great series. Mm-hmm. This year, I think we'll have 4. I don't think
one game goes less than 6.
Unless a team overachieves, like we see the Knicks beat the Bucks, then we're gonna see a Knicks against like Nets. Okay, well we obviously.
Well, I think I said over in 5, maybe 6.
Right, 6, but like if we see a team like the Knicks or the Pacers or somebody overachieve and win a series, then we're gonna see a blowout series. But I think all 4 semifinal series this year, I know we're gonna get into the West here in a second, are gonna be elite. I am praying that we get Celtics, 76ers, Bucks, Nets, Cavs, 4 of those 5 teams in the
And I think we will. That's usually how it works in the NBA. It's not like there's usually not a Cinderella team in the NBA. I mean, because it's 7 games.
It's you have to be too consistent.
You have to. I mean, we saw it kind of a Cinderella with Trae Young, but then they ran out of gas. Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't usually happen, but so the West.
Trae Young faced Jimmy Butler and got shot down, dude.
So the West.
Moving on to the West. It's been an interesting season for the West. Obviously, there's been a lot of different dynamics. Steph is out for about a month. Golden State falls off. Golden State is awful on the road this year. I mean, horrendous. Obviously, AD's out. Been out for the last 3 weeks. Believe it or not, first injury of his career. He's been out. But I think he's going to return the next week, is what I've seen.
Yeah, and it sucked because AD was balling. He was legitimate Wilt Chamberlain numbers.
He was a top 3 player in the league before he got injured.
He was putting up 40. He was putting up 45 and 14. Yeah. Not obviously averaging, but that was a regular night.
He had a two game stretch where he had 99 total points and 38 rebounds. Do you understand how absurd that is?
And also so kind of going over the AD thing, last year he was the worst jump shot shooter in the NBA.
Which I saw that stat and it's a little bit funny because if you remember their bubble ring, whatever you want to call it, their championship run, he was elite.
He was elite at mid-range.
He would catch the ball at the high post, the
fadeaways,
18 to 20 out. I would say 15 to 20 out. And he would catch the ball, square up, and it was going to be made.
Yep.
Because he shoots it high enough. It's not just like KD.
Yep.
He shoots it high enough. You can try to contest it. You have to respect the drive enough that you can't be up in his grill.
Absolutely, because, he's athletic enough. He's one of the rare 4s that is a 3-level scorer.
Mm-hmm. He's a very true power forward.
He is. He's maybe the last true power forward there is, because you could say Giannis kind of, but he brings the ball up. Yeah. So it's a little different.
Yeah. I'm a very huge advocate of AD. It sucks he's injury prone because he is elite. But I will say this. If he is healthy and LeBron is healthy, the last team I want to play in any play-in ever is the 10-seed Lakers.
Yeah, I know, especially because Pat Bev, they won the NBA championship in the play-in last year. So
that's one of the funniest things ever.
But that was one heck of a cover, too. I remember that.
Yeah.
The West is crazy. You're looking at this. Now, a team I was high on before the year was the Nuggets. They are really, really good, but we've seen this before, and I'm terrified of this. They seem like a great regular season team that will just fall flat on their face in the playoffs, and I don't know why.
See, I'm an advocate for the Nuggets. I think if this roster stays together in 3 years, they win a championship in the next 3 years.
You're talking Jamal, Michael Porter,
and Jokic. Okay. Yeah, mix and match your role players.
Bones
Highland. He does a microwave. Tell you what.
Yeah.
He makes a free throw and he's like, I'm feeling it. But Jokic, their offensive efficiency, especially with the increasing amount of guys that just make wide open threes. If you look at the 3-point percentage over the years, with top 20 guys, it is just gradually increasing and increasing and increasing because guys can make threes.
Yep.
And with that increasing more and more, Jokic will get open threes for the entire team.
I think Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
I remember we talked about this the other day. The only person I could even listen to an argument for would be Luka.
Yeah.
If anybody else, if I'm talking to somebody and they bring up any other name, then any credibility is thrown out the window.
Well, I think the reason is that maybe those two are the best is because I get it. Luka sometimes doesn't play hard on defense, but he can defend if he wants to. And Jokic, there's no hole. There's no hole in his game. He's elite at literally everything. He gets steals, he gets blocks, he grabs boards. Mm-hmm. He's efficient. He's literally the most efficient player in NBA history.
Offensively, do you understand how difficult it is to have to double team a guy that is the best passer in the NBA?
And not only is he the best passer, he's freaking 7 feet tall.
Right.
And he shoots free throws at an 83% clip. Mm-hmm. And he shoots literally at 62% from the floor.
Look at the most dominant bigs in history, right? We have Shaq.
Yep.
Foul him. If he beats you, foul him. Make him.
Wilt. Wilt couldn't shoot free throws.
Make him shoot free throws. And really, both of those guys' assist numbers were not very high.
No.
the offense did not run through them. So if you could get lucky and they only shoot the ball 15 times, sweet. They went 11-15, but we held them to 25, 26. Jokic will account for 90% of their points when he's on the court. And they will be shooting open shots. It's not like he gets an assist where it's like, oh, it's a contested three, it goes in, he gets an assist off of it. That dude's wide open because you have to double team Jokic. Every time he catches the ball, he's either going to score on a fadeaway, a post hook, or you're going to double team him. And if you double team, it is an open shot for somebody, unless you are elite at defensive rotations, which nobody is.
In the regular season, at least nobody is. That's what scares me, though, about this Nuggets team. It's because, I'm just looking. So say they're the one, right?
Yep.
And I think the Warriors will make the playoffs without the play-in. I think they will. They're a game back right now.
Yeah. You look at the teams ahead of them. You have the Suns who have been struggling.
The Jazz.
Once they get Booker back, they'll be better. But you have the Suns, you have the Timberwolves, you have the Jazz.
For some reason, I think the Kings and the Pelicans will fall off a little bit.
The Pelicans, I think, is dependent on Zion's health.
I think so too. But I think the Kings will fall off a little bit, even though Sabonis has been balling.
The Kings are as healthy as they. If you look at their injury report, there's not a single person listed that will not maintain.
No, I don't think so either.
You look at the teams here. You have the Pelicans. Zion and Bi have missed significant time. Mavericks have been pretty healthy, but again, you've had like Finney Smith, you've had Christian Wood go down. You've had Tim Hardaway Jr. go down for a couple of games here and there. Obviously, Clippers are about as banged up as you can be. The Suns have Devin Booker, who's been out. Timberwolves have Cat, who's been out. So I think that, looking at the entire West, everybody's been banged up except the Kings.
Yep.
If the Kings can maintain it and stay healthy, awesome. Give that trainer a raise. But it's just unlikely.
Yeah, it's very unlikely. And kind of going that, with the Nuggets route, if they play the Warriors with the 8 seed, that would be the best 8 seed ever. You know what I mean? Like if the Suns, Clippers, or Warriors are the 8 seed, I'm terrified if I'm the Nuggets.
Yeah,
because they might lose a series to the 8.
Okay, so this is the stat that I was looking for. The Denver Nuggets this season with Michael Porter Jr. They've played 32 games. And they're 23-9.
Yeah, he's really good.
They're 10-5 without him, but 23-9 with him. And I think a lot of that is because he makes threes. So when Jokic passes out of there, and you have MPJ who's hitting open threes, every shot's a good shot in his mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, because the release point, we talked about that. Yeah. Nobody can block him. No. He's 6'10". His wingspan is crazy.
6'10" high wingspan, and also elevates a ton on his three. He elevates a ton.
His back is finally not just terrible anymore. Mm-hmm. I feel like it took him literally 3 to 4 years for that back to get kind of healthy, and I think it is kind of healthy at this point.
I think the dangerous team for Denver, not dangerous thing for Denver, dangerous thing for the rest of the West and also the NBA is that when you have Jamal Murray, who we know he can go off. We've seen him getting significantly better, right? Mm. He had his struggles at the beginning of the year. Obviously, you haven't played in 600 days. You would struggle too. He's getting back into his form. Before he got injured, holy smokes, that dude could tear it up, dude.
Yeah, in the bubble, he was insane.
Yeah, we saw him and Donovan Mitchell put up maybe one of the greatest non-final series ever.
Yeah. That bubble series was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. They were trading 50-point games it was I don't know.
You're playing in you're literally playing a pickup game.
Yeah, they were trading 50-point games it was single bucket.
When Jokic is the third best player in a series, you have two people freaking balling.
Yeah. So we saw how dangerous Denver could be when Jamal Murray's playing really well. I think he will get back to the level. Maybe not this year. Mm-hmm. Next year, I think he does. But even if he doesn't this year, he's going to progress closer to that. And you have Jokic, who isn't obviously offensively insane, defensively much improved. When you have 3 guys that are able to put up 30 to 40 points, because MPJ 1,000,000% could.
I think so too. Just with if his volume was increased,
right? But in a given game where he shoots well, where he hits 4 threes in the first quarter, he's going to get the volume, and you're not going to be able to really unless you're going to double him.
Yeah,
it's really.
But why would you? But if you double him, then
if you double him, you're just dumb. Because you're leaving. Okay, Jokic. Go ahead and leave Jokic
1-on-1. Yeah, down low. Yeah,
but that's my thing for Denver. I think Denver, if they don't win it this year, their offseason is going to be elite. They're going to go get guys like Pat Connaughton. They're going to get guys like, like a Luke Kennard, somebody that's just going to sit in the corner and just bang threes.
And Luke Kennard on that team, that is so scary to think about. Luke Kennard on that team because he would be so elite.
This is just this is a hot take. If you put Luke Kennard on that team, he would legitimately probably get All-Star votes.
I actually legitimately think he would shoot 50% from three.
He'd shoot 50%?
Because he's like upper 40s. Because he would be wide open.
Mm-hmm. He's upper 40s without Jokic on his team.
Yeah, he's upper 40s with Reggie Jackson being a facilitator.
Yeah.
So
being his most consistent facilitator. Yeah. No, but so we're both high on the Nuggets.
Yep.
Grizzlies are going to be they're young, they're long, they're really long. With Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson has got to be one of the stupidest players in the NBA.
But one of the most talented players in the NBA for sure. I actually think IQ, the Grizzlies' IQ is like, I don't know how to describe it. I just don't trust the Grizzlies. I wouldn't trust the Grizzlies in a tie game, game 7 with 3 minutes left.
Absolutely not. But they do have a very young core.
Mm-hmm.
They have, I'm pulling up right now, they're 19-7 this season with Desmond Bane. So when Desmond Bane plays, when he's not in there, they kind of struggle because they don't have a secondary scorer. When Ja's not in, what are they going to do? Because they don't have somebody. If you're looking to like Tyus Jones to be your other scorer, which is
Tyus Jones is good.
He's been great this season.
He's not.
But he's not Desmond Bane. You need somebody
also
else.
Desmond Bane's shortest torso.
Yes, the Kings are going to be good too. But like we talked about, once they have some sort of injury problem, they're going to be rough.
Yeah, I think so too. And I also think the Jazz are going to kind of fall off a little bit.
Yeah, the Jazz are big time going to fall off. They started at they peaked. They peaked 25 games in the season.
Yeah.
But they're it's tough, but oh well. The Timberwolves I don't think are good.
I think if Cat comes back, they could compete with the Clippers or the Pelicans, but I don't think they could compete with the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Warriors in a 7-game series.
Yeah. I just don't think the Cat and Gobert fit together at all. It's just not a good dynamic to have two true centers. You can argue that Cat could play 4. No, he can't. He's a center that can shoot.
I think so too.
He's a center that can shoot the 3.
I don't think him and Gobert match at all.
No.
And I think what they gave for Rudy Gobert was, first of all, insane. But it would make sense if the fit was great. But the fit's not even great, so I don't understand what they were doing.
Like if you put Rudy Gobert in Dallas's offense.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh, perfect. He fits perfect.
Yeah, because he just stands literally in the short corner.
He gives them rim protection that they need. He gives them somebody in the pick and roll. That's what they need. He doesn't fit in Minnesota at all. I didn't understand the trade when it happened. Maybe obviously over the offseason we're like, well, maybe they'll play well together. They haven't. Whatever. I think the Timberwolves are going to lose the play-in. So looking at assuming teams are healthy when they go to the play-in, like the Lakers in this play-in, you look at the Warriors that can make it in there. The West, we talked about the East. You have 5 teams. Yeah, 5 teams that are not going to make the play-in.
Yeah.
In the East, we know 4 of them.
Yeah. I think in the West you only know
2.
Well, you could argue 3. I don't think the Thunder will make it.
Yep. I think the Thunder have overachieved. I also think that we see this really commonly. In February and March, you see teams turn it on.
Yeah.
Because they're like,
oh
shit.
Yeah, they're like, oh shit. Well, like the Warriors are ready. They're 1 game under 500. They're gonna be like, oh shit. It's February. We have to start actually playing now.
Yeah. Hey, let's play some playoff caliber basketball for 2 months before we get to the playoffs. Yeah. And then next thing you know, hey, we're ready for the playoffs. Cool. Mm-hmm. And we're the 6th seed.
Well, and we're 6th seed, and it doesn't even matter who we play.
Yeah.
Because
we're elite.
Yeah.
I agree, and so I do think that there's going to be a lot of shuffling there yet. I think the Lakers also, if AD stays healthy for the rest of the season,
I think they can make it.
Oh, I think they can make it for sure. I think they could end up being the like 7 seed.
I mean, dude, let's think about this here. I mean, you just look at the standings. The West is really close.
No, yeah,
from 13 to 6, there's a 2.5 game difference.
Oh, I'll go even farther. From 3 to 12, there's a 5-game difference.
Yeah.
The Kings are the 3 seed right now.
Yeah.
The Lakers are missing the play-in.
The top 2 seeds are basically set. It's going to be Nuggets and Grizzlies as the top 2 seeds, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 to 12, I mean, 5-game difference, it's insane.
Yeah. Now, I will say the Pelicans are a team that's very interesting because they have not had BI all year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's played a game yet this year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did early.
Did he play earlier?
Yeah, he played early.
I'll look this up. But I don't think he definitely has not played very many. In 2023, they're 9-6 with them. So he's played 15 games this year. So when he gets back, in the 15 games he played, Zion didn't.
Yep.
So we have not seen CJ, Zion, and BI all together this year.
That's an elite 3.
It's an elite 3, and it's also just dangerous because you have everything you need. You have CJ McCollum who can get to his shot and also facilitate. You've seen him up his 100%. Ability to facilitate as well. You have BI who is 3-level scorer, and you have Zion who is one of if not the most dominant scorer.
Yeah, you also have Valanciunas, rim protector.
Yep,
and rebound machine, and you have Herb and can shoot now.
Yeah,
which is insane to watch.
Yeah,
because when he first came to the Raptors, he could literally not even shoot like a 12-footer.
You can even shoot free throws.
And you also have Herb Jones, one of the best defenders. So
yes.
you could literally put him on anybody. He's fine scoring 2 points.
We saw them when they played the Nets. There was I think the Nets were like 3-point favorites, and they won by like 4 or 5. But everybody was like, "Why are the Nets only 3-point favorites?" Because they have wonderful matchups for the offensive pieces that the Nets have.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Herb Jones on KD is a perfect.
Herb Jones might be one of the best defenders in the NBA to guard KD.
Exactly, and then you have like a Jose Alvarado, somebody that's just going to piss Kyrie off.
Yep.
Believe it or not, Jose Alvarado does that to people.
He's like the a little less annoying Pat Bev.
Yeah, a little bit less annoying for now. He might end up picking that up, but that team is going to be good if they're healthy. That's the issue. They've been very injury prone all year.
Yeah, a team we have not mentioned, the Clippers.
Yeah,
I think the Clippers could win a title if Kawhi and Paul George are fully healthy. I just don't think it's gonna. I just don't see that this year.
Yeah, it's tough to. Well, we haven't seen anything to lead us to believe that they're going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're trending back. Kawhi is out for whatever, like 2 years.
He's been playing pretty well recently.
He has been playing pretty well recently. So, he's gonna get better. They're gonna get better. Now, here's the thing I'm a huge believer in this in like every aspect of sports, is that when you remove star players and you have to have role players play in the star player role, and then you reinsert these star players, teams are elite.
The Grizzlies last year, when Ja went out, they literally were what, like 20-2, something like that.
Yeah, because you had to have a guy like Desmond Bane be like, oh, the game just started. I'm our guy.
Yeah,
and like so you have a team like this Clippers team, a guy like Reggie Jackson's like, I'm our guy right now. Yeah. Zubats is like, I got to score 15 this game.
30 and 30.
Yeah, like so now when you add Kawhi and PG back into this, they're going to be elite. Again, the question is, will they be added back into it?
We don't know. I mean, we don't know.
Right. So
I think it's too early to tell this year.
Yeah. But if everybody's healthy in the West, everybody's healthy in the East, who's your West representative? Who's your East representative? Who comes out on top right now? Right now, but also assuming everybody's healthy. So assume
that's tough.
The entire NBA is healthy. That's going to come back this year.
That's tough. After my man Dylan Brooks got into a verbal altercation with my man Shannon Sharp, I'd love to pick the Grizzlies. I don't know. I'm kind of team Shannon on that one, but if I had to guess, playoff implications, it's hard for me to not. This is gonna be a curveball. Hard for me to not pick the Warriors. Just because they literally know what to do, exactly what to do, and know they'll turn it on immediately.
Yeah.
And Steph will go off in the playoffs. Draymond will be a pest. Draymond could be 50 years old and he'll still play exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Warriors out of the West. In my East team, I said it earlier, but I think I'm going to go with the Bucks because I think Chris Middleton gets back fully healthy.
Yeah. And if he does, it's gonna be dangerous.
It's gonna be really dangerous.
Now I will say when he played earlier in the season, he was awful.
He was really bad. But obviously that's gonna happen. He hasn't played in a long time. That's why if they are gonna be elite in the playoffs and he's gonna be that 20 to 25 points a game, he could, he's their closer. He was their closer. Like you saw it last year against the Celtics. Like they didn't have a closer.
No. So and you saw it 2 years ago against the Suns in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's elite. And people were like, "Oh, Giannis had 40, but he had 2 points in the fourth quarter." It's because Chris Middleton had freaking 16.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, I agree. In my opinion, from the West, I agree. In my opinion, from the West, it's going to be tough. I can tell you right now, there's no shot that I think the Mavericks make it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so either. They're not deep enough.
No, for Luka to play, basically 28 games at an elite level. No,
that's not happening. No, because he has one out of every 4 games where he goes 2 for 9 from 3. Just is not really efficient.
Right, and even if how many times have we seen Luka? It took a 60-point 60-20-20, right, or 60-20-10 game for him to beat the New York Knicks. I can tell you what, when you were playing the Nuggets, this is not more difficult to beat them than New York Knicks.
Well, they just don't have the depth. No. If Christian Wood's your second best player, dude, it's not going to happen.
And Christian Wood's not a bad player. If Christian Wood's your third best player, wonderful.
Yep.
If Spencer Dinwiddie is your second best guard, you have a very big issue.
Yep.
And so last year we saw them with Jalen Brunson as their second best guard.
Jalen Brunson, the difference is Jalen Brunson can truly create.
Yeah. They're just not deep. Luka will carry them. However far they get is going to be Luka's back.
It's kind of like LeBron when he was early on in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's like the team's kind of crap. You have a top 2 player in the NBA, top 3 player in the NBA.
Yeah. Take us as far as we can.
Yeah.
But from the West, I'm gonna go with the Nuggets.
Okay.
I think that it's a basic pick. They're the 1 seed. They've been elite this year, but I just think Jokic is too good that in a playoff series for me to have 4 games to lose in which the team would shoot that bad.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get open threes. That's your game plan is to hope guys miss.
Yeah.
I don't think guys miss for 4 straight
I also
games.
think that you could see a Jokic stat line in a playoff series where it's like 32, 16, and 11.
I also think you could see a Jokic stat line in a series or in a game where it's 14 points, 18 rebounds, and like 22 assists.
Yeah, I agree.
Because teams, especially when you get the playoff defense, it is like no double. Force other guys to beat us. We see it with big players. They'll just be like, screw it, we don't care.
Yeah. We've seen that with Joel Embiid in the
what
past.
You see with guys, what you see with guys in the fourth quarter and in the regular season is what teams will do in the entire game in postseason, and so that's what they'll do. I could see Jokic literally getting. Now, if you had pass to assist, like if there was hockey assists, Jokic would have 25 plus assists.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Because you got to think normally if you throw it to the wing from the post, the dude who's in the corner is going to go help.
Well, it's just that extra pass.
Yeah, you have one guy to help, and then it's extra passes.
It's the extra one.
I'm going to take the Nuggets.
Okay.
I think we're going to get Nuggets Nets, and I think KD is going to get his ring this year.
Okay, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to see.
That'd
I'm not a KD hater. I'm really not a KD hater. I like KD. That'd be cool to see him and Kyrie win one, quotes legitimate one.
Yeah. I would say it's legitimate.
Oh no! I'm saying it would be like.
Oh, you're saying it's debatable on whether their last ones are legitimate. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I would say the Kyrie one is just because he had 40 points in a game 7
and the game-winning 3.
And you could also say that KD's was because he won 2 Finals MVPs, but also he was playing with the greatest team ever assembled.
Yeah,
arguably. But I think it was so.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I do think that's the greatest team ever assembled too. But any closing comments? Or that's all we got.
I don't think so. I think my Cavs are going to make the playoffs, and I think your Pistons are maybe the worst team in the NBA.
Pistons are going to get Wembanyama. I'll tell you what. This is my minute and a half here of Pistons talk. The Pistons have Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, who are an elite young backcourt. Not elite yet, but elite for potential. They have Jalen Duren, who's the youngest guy in the NBA. Good. It is insane to be 19 years old.
Yeah, he's good.
The fact that he's like nearly averaging a double-double at 19 years old is just the rest.
He looks like a grown man.
The rest of the league should be scared.
Yeah.
This dude's the second coming of Dwight Howard.
He's huge.
That's the only way I can describe him is the second coming of Dwight Howard. When you have Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard, playing center for the Pistons in 3 years.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised. No, I'm not saying I'm relying on our 14% chance odds to get Wembanyama. But if you add Wembanyama to that team, you could see them within 2 years make the playoffs.
I would, yes, yeah, but 2 years in the make the playoffs, but also like compete.
Yes, you're looking at Jaden Ivey. The only comparison I can find for him is John Morant. You look at John Morant when he came into the league, he couldn't shoot the three. Now he's developed a 3-point shot, and he is elite. Mm-hmm. Jaden Ivey cannot shoot the three that well right now. Mm-hmm. He can shoot the three better than John Morant could when he came into the league. But you're looking for a big progression there, and then he's going to be elite. Cade Cunningham's very good, mm-hmm. not elite yet, but very good. You have some decent pieces. You also have like a guy like Sadiq Bey, who I know you love, can shoot the three really well.
Not this year, but he can.
Yeah. And then you also have, they're gonna get rid of Bogdanovich here soon and get something out of that. So who knows?
Bogdanovich he's damn good though.
He's shot really well this year. But yeah, my Pistons are garbage this year. I've accepted that. But it's been a good season so far. We're gonna have some weekly uploads, pretty much from here on out. Make sure you go check out the TikTok, go check out the Instagram, everything. If you're watching on YouTube, go listen to Spotify if you can as well. If you're on Spotify, go watch on YouTube too. So I think that's it for today, though. This was the Sports Geeks podcast. They play, we talk. Thanks, guys.